welcome into another episode of Dan Tony Sports. My name is Dan Snyder, joined tonight by the usual cast of misfits. We got Dan O'Shea, we got Tony Casper, we got Dan Beebe. Gents, how y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Well,
what is the happy haps? I am doing it.
All right, that's good to hear, guys. We have a fun show full of football to talk. I don't even know how to unpack everything that we witnessed in the past. Today's Wednesday. What's 5 days times 24 hours? 120 hours. Past 120 hours been crazy, guys.
A lot of things have happened. That is for sure.
Absolutely crazy. What if I told you that Tannehill never brought a Super Bowl to Miami, but he could be taking one from them?
He could be playing in one in Miami.
And then take it from
Miami. Just not necessarily with Miami.
Exactly. We'll get into that and all of the playoff action that happened and all the playoff action that will happen. But first, we're going to talk about the National Championship game that took place on Monday. And sorry to FCS Division 2, Division 3. We're not going to talk about them. We ain't got time. Congrats to North Dakota State.
Everyone.
Yeah, North Dakota State, of course.
Well,
of course.
Should just name the bowl after them now.
They should. The Carson Wentz fucking memorial trophy.
Seriously?
Well, he's not dead, I guess, so it couldn't be the memorial trophy.
Yeah, well, his career might be if he keeps getting fucking injured.
That was a dirty hit.
No, it wasn't. He gave himself up. You're a runner. Fuck you.
Exactly.
That's on you, and Clowney took you down. And some of his fault. I don't think he was trying to hurt you, but I also think that if you're that big of an idiot, you deserve to get popped.
It was a hard hit, but hard doesn't necessarily mean dirty. So I absolutely agree. Should he have pulled up? I mean, I'm not a professional athlete. I'm sure his timing is way better than mine would be. I know that if I tried to do a hit and the same shit happened, I probably would have hit him even worse. But
probably true, but I mean, yeah, quarterbacks running like that, you take a shot. Either way, Carson Wentz isn't in the playoffs anymore, so we don't need to talk about it.
All right, guys, LSU, the Louisiana State Tigers, the Bayou Bengals, if you would, the purple and gold from Baton Rouge, the Ed Orgeron-led national champions.
Yep.
Did anyone think that Clemson was going to beat LSU? I know a couple people who did. I didn't think Clemson was all that good to start the season. I didn't think they were good in the middle of the season. I think they benefited from a weak ACC and then got hot at the right time, beat Ohio State, whether that was bullshit or not. They did.
That was bullshit.
It might have been, but one play does not define a game, unless.
Yeah, I thought they might put up a better fight because they, as you said, they got hot at the right time. They, were building up momentum after a big win against Ohio State that no one thought they could win. So then they kind of have that same mentality going in, and for the first half it looked really close, and then the second half they just could not keep up with Joe Burrow. And that LSU
Jefferson and Chase and fucking Hilaire. Jesus Christ.
Crazy. Just crazy.
There was...
I thought it would be closer, but I think we all said LSU was going to win it.
LSU is the first team in the country in history of college football to have a 5,000-yard passer, to have a 1,000-yard rusher, and two 1,500-yard receivers all on the same team. And they did it with the winning a national championship and with their player winning the Heisman. So, they fucking raked shit up this season.
It should go down as one of the greatest all-around football teams college football teams ever to play in that spot. Now...
I don't like to give credit to other media personalities, but Mike Greenberg made a good point when he said, it's stupid to debate what team is the best team would the 2001 Miami Hurricanes be better than the 2005 USC Trojans? Who knows? They couldn't have played each other.
You're right. I mean, it is a stupid argument, but I mean, statistically, in what was accomplished, I think you have to consider that to be one of the best teams that's ever been constructed for their time.
And he argued that they've had the best season.
Right.
Whether they were the best team, they've had the best season in college football history.
That's true. Now, as far as the game is concerned, my opinion was the game happened exactly how I thought it was going to happen. Clemson was going to be able to keep up for a half. They weren't going to be able to keep up for the whole game. Once LSU had them figured out, they were in trouble. And that's exactly what happened. LSU got out early. They tried to keep the momentum going. But there was too much of a good team for them to be able to sustain it for 4 quarters. Now, I think that you're right. One play doesn't define the game. But I think we would have been looking at a better game had Ohio State been playing LSU.
I think the thing that just blows my mind is how you could conceivably have what is a consensus top 3 quarterback in college football in Trevor Lawrence.
Uh-huh.
Could have 2 of the most dynamic wide receivers ever in Justin Ross and T. Higgins. Have a running back like Travis Etienne and still have absolutely no fucking shot at winning the championship.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to think, but I mean, in the same breath, LSU was the altogether better team. That's just the reality of the situation on all ends of the ball. And this is not even taking into consideration that they lost defensive stars and starters halfway through the season for personal issues and left the team. So, I mean, how more dominant could they have been?
Well, this is where I don't like to always give credit to coaching, but this is where coaching comes in big time. If you watch the playoff game between LSU and Oklahoma,
mm-hmm.
in the third quarter, when LSU starters were in, they were fucking set, ready to go. The guys that Oklahoma was rotating in were tired.
Mm-hmm.
LSU was by far the best conditioned team in the country. They were the most prepared team in the country. They were ready for whatever was put in front of them. Does that mean they were the best team in the country? Maybe. I can still make the argument that Ohio State was right up there with them. But were they in the best? Did they put themselves in the best situation to be the national champions? They did.
You're right, but I mean, you can say the same thing for coaching, because if you see the LSU team that was out there in the first half versus the LSU team that came out in the second half, they knew what Clemson was trying to do and they adjusted to it. Clemson didn't change anything.
I don't even think it was necessarily that. I think Dabo Swinney's thought was, we need to punch them in the mouth, get up big early, make them fight from behind.
Right.
And he failed.
But they did that every punch that Dabo landed, they punched back. And they would not go away. And then Dabo was out of options because all he was left at that point was to keep swinging until the bell rang and hoping he won on the decision. But obviously LSU was going to keep landing the punches, not just throwing them.
Did you watch the fight between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor?
I did. Yes.
That's kind of what this made me think of. Again, with the conditioning, Floyd Mayweather out there doing his thing. Conor McGregor comes in swinging wild, and in what was it, the 6th round they called the match off. Conor McGregor was gassed, and again Floyd Mayweather looked like he'd just been lightly strolling through the match.
Yeah, I mean it's a good analogy because that's kind of how the game went and kind of how the fight went. I mean, LSU was the better team and Clemson couldn't keep up. I mean, Clemson was lucky to get out of the Ohio State game with a win. Luck was not going to carry you in this game.
Of course not. No. Nope. Not even Andrew Luck would have carried them.
No. And, I mean, they've got Sunshine, so...
Sunshine!
I mean, you've got, remember the Titans juju on your team, and you still can't do it.
Right?
Although I'm pretty sure that, remember the Titans ended up losing in the state championship, so fitting.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
And you know what? What narrative I fucking hated so much throughout the entire playoff is the narrative that, Clemson hasn't lost in 2 years. Clemson has played dog shit in the last 2 years other than the national titles. I don't want to fucking hear that argument.
Right. I love that.
It's not a good argument when you beat UNC by 2.
I love hearing the fucking argument that, well, they're the defending national champs. Yeah, but you lost an entire fucking defense.
Your entire defensive line was gone.
Entire defensive line.
Gone.
All gone. And you know what? It fucking showed. It really showed. Fucking, if North Carolina didn't have the balls to go for 2 in that game, they tied it up going to overtime. Who knows what happened? But you know what? They thought, we have nothing to... This is fucking house money. We're supposed to have been beat by 25 points, and here we are, a 2-point conversion away from knocking off Clemson.
Right.
It's the easy choice. If you were the athletic director at North Carolina, and you're like, all right, this season is make or break, bad losses, I'm going to fire you. And you tune in, you're like, oh shit, we're only down by 1 to Clemson, and we had just scored a touchdown? No, this coach's fine. Nope. No one's going to give a shit about you losing to Clemson by 1. So do it. Why not? And that's the same mentality that LSU had. They went for it on 4th down a couple times. Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You'll get the ball back in the hands of Joe Burrow and he'll just score next time?
The other thing I want to say that I wasn't really impressed with Joe Burrow about is even being down, even having to go punch for punch, Joe Burrow showed much more than Trevor Lawrence did to me being cool under pressure.
His step up in the pocket is fucking gorgeous.
But no matter what happened, he was even killed. He was solid as a rock every time. When things didn't go right, when he missed a pass by a little bit, which he didn't miss many of them, he dropped a lot of dimes in there.
Oh.
But no matter the situation of the game, he looked like he was completely in control. Lawrence, I saw it against Ohio State when he started to get hit, and I saw it again in the LSU game in the second half. He lost it. When a better team is getting to him and hitting him, he can't handle it. He starts making really bad passes. He was overthrowing wide receivers like crazy, missing them right and left on throws.
How you overthrow T. Higgins just blows my mind.
Well, I give T. Higgins credit because he looked like he was playing in pain and he was trying to play through it because that's what you do in a national title. But yeah, Lawrence should be able to hit a guy the size of a billboard.
I don't get it. And how... But exactly what you were saying, Joe Burrow. Like, I have been saying I don't think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. And all of a sudden he pulls this shit where the pocket collapses and he just fucking takes 2 steps up. He walks 2 steps up. Yeah. He doesn't even shuffle, doesn't run. He fucking walks 2 steps up and then hits fucking Thaddeus Moss for a wide open touchdown. Like,